Hi guys, I'm Nemo from Nemo Power Tools. I'm one of the engineers and founder of Nemo Power Tools, then one of the engineers of Grabo. I wanted to do a quick unboxing of our new Grabo Pro lifter and show you some of the new features and how it compares to our current version of Grabo. So as you can see, the Grabo Pro comes in a cardboard box similar to our current version of Grabo. One of the changes that we made is this nice looking canvas bag. So this is a very tough carry bag that we designed specifically for the Grabo. The way that it opens up is just like that. Open the two zippers and the Velcro, and this here is our new Grabo Pro. The plastic on the bottom is there to protect the seal. The seal is exactly the same as the previous versions of Grabo, so it's all compatible. Now I'll go over some of the differences between the Grabo Pro lifter and the current version of Grabo. One of the first things that you'll notice is the new ergonomic design of the handle. We received a lot of feedback and input from people working out in the field with the Grabos, lifting heavy materials all day long, lifting from plywood to drywall to rock and wet cast pavers and an array of many different types of materials, and any little change and any small addition to the ergonomic of the product makes a difference and kind of adds up as time goes by on the job. So one thing that you'll notice is that the handle is slightly thinner, which makes it easier to hold and easier to lift much heavier loads without getting strain on your hand and your wrist. This is the normal classic Grabo, and as you can see, the batteries are completely compatible and interchangeable. So if I change them around like that, both of the units will be just fine and will work. You can see them there side by side. The shape is slightly different. The seals are the same. The batteries are the same. We have a lot of different companies and different individuals making some creative add-ons and new features like panel lifting and different attachments that can be attached to the Grabo. So we obviously kept the attachment points the same. They're the same size, the same length, the same distance from each other. So any attachment that you may have for a current Grabo will also work on Grabo Pro. So one of the first things that you'll notice about the Grabo Pro lifter is the new digital display. When we turn on the Grabo Pro, we will immediately see the pressure or the weight, and you can switch between the modes from PSI, bar, kilogram, and pounds. Now the PSI and the bar, that's pretty self-explanatory. You know exactly how much pressure or vacuum is in the vacuum chamber underneath the Grabo. The reason that we have the kilogram and the pounds there as well is this actually tells you what is the safe lifting capacity at every given moment. Now this is useful because not every surface is completely sealed, and when we're working with materials that are slightly porous, for example drywall or wood or some pavers, the material is not completely airtight, which means that air will continuously come in to the vacuum chamber. The maximum load that the Grabo can lift will differ. This is where glancing at the display can get useful, because you want to know what is the maximum safe lifting capacity and make sure that you're not lifting anything heavier than the maximum allowed at that given moment. Another feature that's very useful with the Grabo Pro is the automatic start and stop. So this new feature relies on a sensor that detects the pressure and calculates in every given moment what is the maximum load and shows you the pressure and load. Okay? Now, Grabo Pro will stop by itself once it reaches the maximum preset pressure. So this paver right here is slightly porous, which means that air gradually and slowly sips into the vacuum chamber on the bottom of the device. So I will turn it on, and this will still get to a level where the machine can turn off, because it does reach high enough pressure, but the pressure slowly drops. So you can see that dropping. Now, when it gets to a certain level, it will kick back into action. So now it's good, air is coming in, it will start again, and you don't have to worry about it. You don't need to keep it on, and you also don't need to worry about dropping it, because it will automatically kick back on. And this again will conserve the battery will last longer. This works non-stop for an hour and a half on one battery. Now, when it kicks back on and off again, it will obviously be much longer. So here we have a piece of marble. Now, marble is non-porous. So in the case of marble, the Grabo Pro lifter will reach the maximum pressure and stop, and it will just stay there. Okay? So we can see the pressure building. This is now at 11 psi, and this will stop automatically. It also has an indicator of an LED. As long as the LED is green, this means that the pressure has reached the level that it needs to, and now it just stays the way it is. Now, if for some reason air does start to enter the vacuum chamber, then Grabo Pro Lifter will kick back in the motor and the pump and will pump it back out so that the lifting capacity always remains the same. If we want to see what kind of weight we can lift in a given moment, we can change it by pressing the little button here that tells us that changes the mode from PSI to bar to kilogram or to pounds. So, for example, right now we can see that we can lift up to 340 pounds, so we don't need to worry about it. And again, I'm going to slightly press the release button just to see what happens if some air does manage to get in there. It just starts back up again. It will reach the maximum pressure, and it will hold there if the material is non-porous. So let's put this aside. This is the easier demo because this material is non-porous. This is a tile that's slightly porous. As you can see, the pressure builds up very quickly, so you don't necessarily have to wait for too long. You can start it, put it on, and it will hold right away. Now, if the material is heavier, I would give it a couple more seconds just to make sure that the pressure builds up, and maybe have a look at the screen and see that the pressure does build up. Maybe look at the pounds indicator and make sure that we reach, at least 100 pounds if we're lifting something that's very heavy. But in the case of anything that's light, like small pavers and tiles, you can basically turn it on, pick it up, and you're good to go. This is a material that lets air through. In this case, probably we're never going to reach that level of turning the device off automatically, which means that it will just keep on. But again, you don't need to worry about it because everything is done automatically, and you can always glance at the digital display and see exactly how much pressure we have in this particular moment and what is the maximum load that we can lift in this particular moment. So let's try. This will continuously stay on because it is porous, but this is right now at 130 pounds. So as long as you're not lifting anything over 130 pounds, you should be okay. And you can have a glance. Different types of wood will have different levels of porosity. Some of them can even be extremely porous, and it'll be at a level where Grabo will not be able to lift them. But for most of the woods that you would find, most of the plywoods, most of wood beams, it'll work just fine. Just have a quick glance on the digital display and it will tell you what is the safe lifting capacity. This here is a dry cast paver. Dry cast pavers, they let a lot of air seep through. They're kind of made this way. It's a feature of dry cast pavers, and specifically these will not work. So it creates some suction, but not enough to really be strong enough to lift the dry cast pavers. We did improve the release mechanism. One of the main things that you can see on the bottom there is that Grabo Pro doesn't have any moving parts when I click on the release mechanism, while the current version of Grabo uses a moving component, a seal that basically detaches from the surface. We made sure to put the release mechanism inside of the unit and protect it using a filter, because we do know that Grabos are used in very dusty environments. They're used out in the field, they get dirty, they get dusty. So one of the things that we did is we made sure that the release mechanism is now internal, and it is also protected by a filter, just like the filter that is used for the input for our vacuum pump that's inside. So this is one of the main differences between the two versions of the Grabo that we now have in the market. That's it for now. Hope that you guys enjoy our new product and keep up the good work.
Thanks for watching, and if you like this video or think the Grabo is a cool tool, hit that subscribe button, and please let us know what you think of the Grabo in the comment section. Follow us on your favorite social media and stay tuned for more Grabo videos coming soon.